Hey everybody, welcome back to Building SouthLake. So today we are actually not going to continue working on the mall because we've worked on it the past, I think, 3 or 4 parts now. So I do want to try and kind of change things up a little bit. Before we go do any of that, like usual, we got to go over to the stadium and do our subscriber of the week. So let's fly over here. And today's actually going to be a little bit kind of different of a building too. So hopefully you guys will kind of enjoy it. So if we place this one down, we're going to put... where is it? Slim. So M, not Slim Shady, I can tell you that. So Slim, and then Slim Slimmy. So close to Slim Shady, but more like Slim Jims. So Slim, Slim, I forgot what it was. Slim Slimmy. M-Y. So Slim Slimmy, if you're watching, thank you very much for watching all the videos, and to all of you for watching, for that matter. So let's fly over to what we're working on today. Now, the reason this one is a little bit different is because we're actually starting off with interior first. And anybody might be wondering, like, whoa, you actually doing interior? I'm only doing one floor to get the basics of, how big the building needs to be. And I'm actually taking a lot of inspiration from, one, my work, because this design is actually based off a project that I'm actually working on myself at my company. And I actually really liked it, and I thought it was so simple, why not do it? And the other thing was, remember how I told you guys, around here and over on the other side of the river, those are going to be a lot of smaller buildings. Now, that's still true, but if you notice in a lot of cities, they're always trying to go higher. And so every now and then you see like one building that's kind of tall because it's a developing area. So that's actually what I want to do with some of these parts, is add some taller buildings. And that's what this is going to be. It's actually going to be a apartment building. And you can actually see the layout here. Probably not great, but it's like a start for me. So basically, I'm not sure. This is going to be the elevator shaft that goes all the way up. And this is actually going to be a pretty big skyscraper, but it's going to be a very skinny skyscraper at that, as you can tell. Because there's only going to be 2 apartment buildings on each floor. So, you got to think about that. And if you're thinking that's really small, it's actually not, because one of the projects I'm working on is exactly that way, and which actually got me the inspiration for it. So we walk in. I'm not sure where the door is going to be yet. We still have to figure that stuff out. But you walk in. This is going to be your living room area. You're going to have a small bathroom here. I'm thinking the kitchen would probably be right here, because usually apartment buildings do not have big kitchens. You walk over, and we're going to have a door leading into the master. So that would be here. We would have a walk-in closet, and then we would have the bathroom attached to the master bedroom. So that's basically the plan, and this thing's actually going to be, like I said, pretty tall. It's actually going to be taller than this. And the design for this is actually going to be quite unique in my opinion, and I think you guys will see why later on. And the problem is, with how I want this to look, it's not going to look the same as it does. Ooh, that's actually really tall. Might scale this down just a little bit more. Probably, I think they would actually look pretty good. Let's move these up. Now, if you're wondering why I'm actually kind of, stacking these pillars up, it's because these actually have a big role in how the building's actually going to work, and you will see why once I kind of describe it to you a little bit more. A lot of different things like that. And actually, the cool thing is when I actually saw this building that I'm working on in my actual job, and I wanted to recreate it, I've actually made buildings like that in the past. And it's actually like, oh, okay, so it's actually, that design that I used before is actually not crazy. It actually does work. It's just a matter of, trying to figure out the actual structural pieces and, a lot of different things. So before we go and do anything, we need to figure out how many floors this needs to be. Now, the reason I'm actually saying this is because there's actually going to be a break in the building. Now, you might be wondering, whoa, what does that mean? So basically what there is going to be is there's going to be a wide open gap, but there are going to be like structural pieces in the elevator shaft that go all the way up. That air can actually fly in. We can have trees, bushes, things like that in between the buildings and the floors, just to kind of give it a little bit more appeal and architectural design. So that's actually why we're going to be counting how tall we want the floors to be, which is a really big thing to me. So how tall do we want the actual walls themselves? So I'm kind of thinking, so we already have it 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks is looking pretty good. So if it's here, I think that'd actually be pretty good. So we're having what? If we put this here, and then we might even have a slab. Now this is far off. I'm just kind of figuring out, thinking ahead for when I do get to the interior at some point. Probably the ceilings would maybe quartz would be my guess, if I had to guess, if anything. So you guys have 3.5 blocks of headroom, which is pretty good in my opinion. So let's actually go off that. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So what we're going to do is actually just stack this all the way up so you can actually see it, and we can actually just go by a little bit faster. Instead of having to go 1, 2, 3, placing a block, this will actually make things a little bit faster. Hopefully, I would think. And boom, stop there. Okay. So we know this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the building I'm actually working on is actually like a 4-story, or not 4-story. I'm thinking of something else. It's actually like a 70-story apartment complex, and there's only 2 apartments on each floor, which is where I got the inspiration from. And it's actually just really cool just seeing the stuff I work on, and you know, like converting it into a 3D model is just probably really fun for me, just because I love seeing that stuff. So we're almost done with this, I think. Not the actual building, obviously. And actually, when I was thinking about it, and you know, when you want to develop an area, usually you build up in a city because you don't have all the space in the world to work with. So I kind of thought this would be a great alternative to all of that, is, you know, just making a building skinny, but then building it up. And so when you have more skyscrapers, you also have more diversity. And I also don't want to have just all the skyscrapers in the main part of the city, you know? I want to have some separation between them, so you can actually get the feeling that some, like an area is kind of, it's on development, I guess might be the best way to put that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And so we're going to put 1 here, which would be the roof. So, okay, as you can see, quite a bit of floors that we would actually have here. That's a lot. So it's going to be pretty tall, but again, very skinny. So it's not really taking up too much space. So I'll basically, there's going to be just pretty much double the amount of rooms. Okay, so what we're going to do is figure out where do we want that opening that I was talking about to be, and also what kind of design do we want on the exterior, because we want windows and things like that. I'm also going to get rid of this front piece, because also this building is going to go underneath the ground as well. We're going to have a parking garage attached underneath. That way, again, doesn't take up space on the exterior, and we can kind of just have some things to work with. And also, since we have the highway right there underneath us, right on the other side, we can probably even incorporate some parking into here as well. You know, obviously that's not great parking, but you know, parking is parking in a city. You gotta figure out, you know, where you're trying to get it from. And yeah, these were just here for like early attempts, but after we figured out the layout and how big the building's actually gonna be, it kind of goes from there. So we have that, so we're good there. So our first place is here. We're also going to have some stairs, and the stairs will probably go somewhere over here. And we're probably only going to have one set of those since it's a pretty skinny building. So we need, where's the piece? Here it is. And just like this. So I'm also trying to figure out what color do we want to make the building, what material do we want to use. So you're really kind of seeing the whole process of going into just making one building. It can be quite difficult. Just trying to figure out what kind of design you want to go with and how many things you want to work with. So there's quite a bit of questions here, but I think we can get to all of them. And so one of the things I'm thinking is we're going to have maybe a big window right here going all the way up. I mean, we are going to separate it a little bit by floor, but I think that would be a fantastic idea to go with. And maybe even make this from going, like, what would be the best way? Like, from here up would be, you could see all the way down to the bottom floor. Would just be kind of cool, I think. Because we don't really need this space, because it's not going to be a front door. And also, we could probably have a big pillar or something to kind of separate those areas. So let's get rid of these. So that will make things a little bit easier for design purposes. And if you guys can notice, I'm actually getting a little bit better ideas from interior, and a lot of that is because of my new job. It's just, you get to see how they actually do things, which gives you that great inspiration already. So what material do I want to use for the balcony here? That would be, I'm thinking maybe just use, some polished diorite. Might look pretty good. Just like that, and probably have like anvils or something there. So we're good there. So what I'm thinking is we're going to use polished granite, I must have diorite, for this big window and pretty much the entire building. So we're going to stack this up pretty high up, pretty much going all the way up. And the building's probably going to be even a little bit taller than all of this as well, because we might have some overhang for like air conditioning units and things like that. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, but I will say it is weird actually doing the interior first to figure that out instead of trying to make the building first and then put everything around it. I think this is actually a pretty good alternative because you actually know what you can fit inside of it. You know the space that you need, so it makes things a little bit easier, but then you have to try to work your way around the floor designs themselves. So there's always challenges to everything. So I think if we make that a pretty big window, how would that look? Because we're right next to the mall. So many questions. So can we put something here in the middle? There we go. So what if we put... Ooh, here's an idea. What if we use like gray for the middle here? So we can stack this all the way up. Add some different color variety in here so we're not just stuck with one color. Another great thing to have, in my opinion, that is. Because that way you're kind of not limited. And it just looks like, oh, you just made a block and then you did some different things to it. So adding some different colors in there would definitely help it out a little bit, I think. So that'll be pretty good. Now we're going to separate it by maybe each, like every other floor. So probably, so what, this floor is here. So just like that. So boom. Okay. So the next one we would go up 4. But then we'd go up 4 again. And that's where the next pillar is going to be. That way we're not having too many breaks and everything. So 4 again. 4 again. Boom. We are just on a roll. And all this is coming along quite nice so far, even though we haven't gone, too far in it. Now, obviously, a lot of these things can change later on when it comes to when the building's done. Is like, well, is it actually looking good so far? And one of the things I'm actually worried about as of now is using the polished, what is this, diorite or granite? Is this a good choice for the building? And maybe we could even just use it for some of it, just not all of it. So there are a lot of questions still that we have to answer when designing this, but there's still quite a good possibility that we're going to continue using granite. Just because I like how it looks. It's a solid looking block. It's a great alternative to using what was the other one? Brick, which is another ooh, I went way too high up there. I forgot what I was going to say. It's a great alternative to another building block, because brick is used in a lot of my buildings because it is a realistic thing to use in buildings in the first place, but I don't want to overuse it, I don't want to make every single building out of brick, so I try to find other blocks that would kind of supplement it and try to make it look the same but also different at the same time. And we're probably also going to use some quartz along the way, because I love using quartz. Oh, this is actually looking really good so far. So are we on? We are. Perfect. Want to make sure we're even with the floors. That's very important since we're doing this by floors. Then boom. So 4, 4. I'm actually really excited to get this done. Now, obviously, I'm not going to extend up all the actual floors themselves up, and not going to do all the interior to them, because that would take a very long time. And as you guys know, I'm mainly an exterior builder, but we do know what they're going to look like. And maybe once we're out of room in the stadium for everything, what we're going to do is maybe we can assign apartments to people, which might be a pretty cool thing for you guys. For subscriber of the weeks would be, hey, you get your own apartment. So maybe like when you come into the game, if you ever join, you actually have a place to stay, kind of thing, which I think would actually be pretty cool. Now, the problem with that is being that I don't do interior. That is a problem, and I already know some of you guys are going to ask, well, why can't you just let us build on it? Because, as you guys know, don't let anybody build on my map. I'm just very picky. Not that I don't like you guys, but you guys have heard it 1,000 times by now, I'm sure. I'm just very picky with all that stuff. So, wow, that actually worked out better than expected, in all honesty. That is perfect. So, let's come back down and look at it. Beauty. So those would be all glass going up, but for that we're also going to use different colors of glass. So now that's the next question, is what color of glass do we want to use? Now, usually I like using the blues because they're more realistic, but I want to kind of go different. Maybe orange and what looks good with orange? Orange and black look good, but I don't want it to be Halloween theme. Maybe purple and cyan might look pretty good. what we're going to do is save it before we do any changes, so we can keep track of that. So, boom, that looks pretty dang good in my opinion. I'm thinking we want to use the blue first. So let's go up. After we're done adding in all these windows, we are probably going to call it quits. And I actually got a comment in another one of my videos the other day, and it's basically saying, you know, my SouthLake videos should be longer. And I understand that a lot of you guys want them to be longer, but at the same time, not everybody's going to want to sit and watch these videos for 30 minutes. And also his comment was, your SouthLake videos should be, you know, 20 to 30 minutes long, because you can get more done in them. Now, yes, that is true, but I do have a feeling, now I'm not 100% sure, I can't speak for everybody here on this topic, but most people kind of come to SouthLake for, you know, they look around the city when I'm flying around or they're doing something. They want to see what I'm working on real quick or see the end result of what I'm working on, and then that gives them the inspiration. Now, yes, some people want to watch it all the way through to see what I'm going to do, but I'm, again, kind of just going off of what I think people do and from what I've learned in the past experiences I've had. Ooh, that actually looks really good. I like that. Awesome. So, yeah, that's what I think. I don't think everybody wants to sit through a 30-minute video. Now, at some point, can I make my videos 30 minutes again? Yes, because they used to be. But that's when I found out people were not watching all the way through. They were watching the beginning and then going off to do something else. And that's what I wanted to kind of get rid of. I wanted you guys to, you know, get some good information and inspiration from the series without having to watch 30 minutes, because it benefits me to make them shorter for view counts and view times, but also I think benefits you guys as well if you're just trying to get some quick ideas without having to search through 30 minutes of video to get to the spots where you want to watch. So I just wanted to bring that up real quick because I know some of you guys have been maybe wondering about that, and I wanted to inform you on why I do not do that anymore. Because like I said, they used to be 30 minutes, if not longer than that. But I did want to stop doing that because, again, not too many people were really watching that far through. So, guys, how are we looking so far? I actually think that looks pretty good. Now, the other thing I'm actually thinking for our last final touch would be, I can't find the piece I want to look for. Don't you hate when that happens? You can't find the block you're looking for. Oh, there it is. What we're going to do is save this just in case it doesn't look good. Which I think it will, because quartz and white look pretty much good on anything. But, you know, better safe than sorry. So on both sides of these, we're going to add pillar quartz. And we can kind of see how that looks. And what I'm kind of thinking is pillar quartz will go on each side and each corner of the building, which I think would kind of add, again, more color diversity to it. And whoop. Let's add this here. Boop, boop, boop. As you can see, people are just wandering around the city. A lot of people are trying to find me. Now, a lot of people actually wonder, again, kind of talking about some more things. A lot of people actually wonder, why do I go invisible when I am building? A lot of that is because, one, I think it's more fun for you guys trying to find me, because you're trying to look around and find me, so you're actually seeing more of the map. Actually, it does look pretty good, better than expected. So you guys also get to see the city, but also kind of not trying to be rude here, but it keeps you guys out of my way, because I understand people want to be in the video. Some people want to be in the video so bad they stop you from building, which I just got tired of that, so I just go invisible now. And some people find me, and when they find me, I don't just go and move, you know, along. I don't kick them or anything. You can still watch me, but if you do get in my way more than once, I will probably kick you because it just gets annoying at that point. So, guys, thank you very much for watching. It is greatly appreciated as always. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this building so far. We're probably going to continue working on it throughout the next couple months, and hopefully we can finish it up. Probably still going to work on it some offline and, you know, in videos as well. But don't expect it to be finished by next week, I wouldn't think, because I don't have all the time in the world. So, again, bye-bye, guys, and thank you very much for watching.